The best way that I've learned to tell the difference between a successful practice and one that's just average, or maybe even one that's struggling, isn't the technical skills of the doctor and the team. It's the communication, and they have the genuine interest in the well-being of one another. That is how you build culture. Yes, your team has to be delivering top-level care. Yes, you have to stay at the forefront of technology and education. But the way your practice will thrive is all about culture. It's all about how to communicate, and it's all about how you invest in each other. I'm Dr. Bill Bloink. In medicine, and dentistry is just a branch of medicine, we're trained to believe that the most important person in the practice is the patient. And I believed it. Everything was about the patient. Everything I did was for my patient. The patient was always number one. Well, a few years into my career, I was fortunate enough to attend a conference, and one of the speakers, he said something that day that absolutely changed the direction of my life and the way I led my dental practice. He said, "Your customers will never love your company until its employees love it first." That small statement changed everything to me. 95% of my patients spend less than 3 hours a year with us in our dental practice. They come in to get their teeth cleaned in January and they spend an hour with us, and they come back in July for another hour. If they're unlucky, they spend an additional hour with us getting a filling or a crown, and that's really 95% of my practice. That led me to start thinking about my team. And what occurred to me was that I spend more time with them on January 2nd before lunch than I do all year with 95% of my patients. So who should I care more about? The answer became clear to me. It was my team. It was such a radical thought. I thought about it a lot. Could the shift in my leadership strategy actually make sense and work for us? And at that point, I built a very nice practice, being completely patient-centric. We were about 40% profitable, which by anyone's measure, even today, that's a highly successful dental practice. But this concept of focusing more on my team and giving them more just felt like the right direction. I'm not talking about buying them Starbucks or lunch or hanging balloons for their birthday. And while we do those things, I'm talking about so much more. I'm talking about giving of myself and sharing with my team the things that I've learned along the way. I'm talking about helping them feel empowered and focusing on continuing their education, their careers, and ways to help them understand how important they are as members of our team. I just started implementing these small changes and taking more time with the people that were around me every single day. But what happened next happened very quickly. When my team started to believe that I cared more about them than I cared about our patients, more than I cared about money, more than I cared about production, more than I cared about any number on our P&L, they began to care more about each other. And they wanted to come through for each other. And all of a sudden, nobody wanted to let anybody down. They wanted to make each other's days easier and lighten each other's workload. Suddenly, everyone was working for each other, all for the benefit of the team. As we became more efficient and worked harder for each other, the ultimate benefactor of this decision that I made of being more team-centric became our patients. And when the team started to love our practice, they started loving being together and loved being with me. They in turn loved serving the patients. And we started to operate on this world-class level of care. Word got out about our practice, and all of a sudden, people wanted to join us. Today, our revenue's grown about 500% from where it was when I first started this crazy experiment. It's kind of unheard of in our profession. I'm just an average doctor, but I've learned to understand people, and I give them what they need and what they're yearning for. Team members were yearning for someone who encouraged them and who wanted the best for them. My team wanted me to invest in them, and the results have been incredible. My name is Dr. Bill Bloink, and I'm proud to be a Heartland Dental supported doctor.